This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin Ishara, Ashlee Bradley, Laura Lewis, and Helena Jacobsen. And before we get into things today, we have 2 new producer-level patrons to thank and acknowledge. So thank you so much to Matrix and Matt Truss for becoming our newest producer-level patrons. Matrix and Matt are going to join the ranks of Passion Socks, Cody Phelps, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, Gabby Young, Rycat, and Zane Sayaka. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, truly appreciate it and couldn't do this without you. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 1 and 2 of Towers of Midnight.
That's right, here we are.
I did it.
Yes.
I remembered the name of it.
It's only like take 3 or 4.
18,000?
Yes. Yeah, we are
Day 2 of trying to record this episode.
It's a new computer.
New computer.
New setup. We're trying to make it sound better, or at least okay.
We're trying. We're trying so hard, and I was so excited for the new computer that doesn't just, like, crash.
Or just like
in the middle and
whir away, like that fan is going constantly. And now things are different.
Well, yes.
You know what I hate the most is when companies update their software.
Oh, and it
to
just
be
like
new.
they change the entire look of everything that
I don't want new, I want old. I want the same.
So relearning that is super fun.
Okay.
I'm having so much fun.
You know what? The chapters themselves, very fun.
Yeah.
I like them.
You know what's not fun? A separated shoulder.
Oh, yeah, you also did that.
Yeah.
There's more. You've done things.
I really hurt myself.
Yeah.
Playing soccer.
Very badly. Yeah.
Yeah, I did do that.
There's bruising. There's swelling.
Tore a ligament.
There's a sling involved.
The ligament that holds the clavicle to your shoulder joint.
And if anyone knows what that means, I don't, but you know.
Listen, we're here. We're doing it. I'm excited. Let's talk about these 2 chapters.
Well, you know what? Apple's first, right? Oh, man, I didn't even do the chapter titles.
No.
Oh, my goodness. What's happening?
I don't know.
We're
so flustered.
I don't know.
I don't even know what's going on.
Chapter 1 is Apple's first, and Chapter 2 is Questions of Leadership.
Right.
Okay. We got some hooks. We got some hooks for the book.
Everybody's questioning their leadership choices.
You know what? And that's not surprising for at least one of these people.
Both of them. All of them?
You know.
It's not surprising for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, for the fun fact, I got a pretty good one here because the book is Towers of Midnight, so I thought we should talk about the Towers of Midnight.
Sure.
Okay.
Real ones?
What do you mean real
ones?
ones?
Like in real life? Like real inspiration?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, you know, you've talked about like real white towers?
Sure,
like real towers named the White Tower?
Yep.
Are there any real life Towers of Midnight? You didn't look that up. Okay,
no,
I'm going to stop interrupting you. You tell me what you learned.
So we talked about it before during The Gathering Storm, but originally the working title for this book was Shifting Winds.
Okay.
But then Sanderson eventually changed it to Towers of Midnight.
Too weather related.
Well, it wasn't like cool enough, I think.
Yeah.
That was a major issue. So Towers of Midnight sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
But in book 2, we actually got first introduced to the Towers of Midnight, if you recall.
That has something to do with the Shanshin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we learned about the Damani in like chapter 40, and we learned that the person who invented the Adam was an Aes Sedai. Hopefully you remember all that kind of like backstory on it. Mm-hmm. But one of the lines that's dropped in book 2 is that eventually they turned the Aes Sedai who created the Adam into a Damani herself.
Yeah.
And it was said that her screams shook the Towers of Midnight.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So there's an interview question from DragonCon 2005 with Robert Jordan. The question says, we know the Tower of Ravens is located in Shanshin capital city, and it's used as an imperial prison, especially for members of the Blood. But there's also a reference to the first Merit Damani shaking the Towers of Midnight. Are the Towers of Midnight also a prison? Can you tell us more about them? There's a little bit more to the question,
sure.
But Robert Jordan answered, there are 13 Towers of Midnight.
No.
The Towers of Midnight are the fortress complex and were, at the time this happened, in Shandar wasn't the capital, and the Towers of Midnight were the center of military might. or the forces that were beginning the consolidation before the conquest of Shanshan. So, this title, if you noticed, in Chapter 1, we get to see the Towers of Midnight.
I didn't notice.
There's the 13 towers
I totally
that are
just,
midnight black.
Skimmed over the whole thing.
That's like the central, those are the Towers of Midnight. So the title can be taken as a literal reference to the Towers of Midnight, the fortress complex in Imferal, the city in Shanshan,
right,
where there's the 13 towers.
Right.
And it's a reference to the book number, which is 13.
It is, okay.
Pretty great.
All of that I don't like very much.
Fantastic.
I don't like the number 13.
We know that.
I know.
Okay. So pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty good. But I do have to say, in my brain, thought there were only 2.
Oh, okay.
Towers of Midnight.
Right, like in the intro, like that first...
No. I completely missed.
Like, where did you get the 2 from?
I don't know.
Oh.
In my brain...
Well, because towers is 2.
Is 2.
Is 2, yeah.
I think I know, but I don't know if you want to take a shot or not.
It's not like a bunch of towers at midnight.
No.
What shot are we taking for what?
The 2 towers.
Oh my goodness.
I think in my brain I just thought 2 towers, you know?
Yeah,
towers, 2 towers.
You know, I like that your brain goes there, so
I didn't even think that there would be more than 2.
Yeah, it's
I always pictured,
way
whenever we
spookier.
talked about Towers of Midnight, I always pictured there was 2 of them.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Yeah. That's fair.
So that's funny that there's way more.
Yeah, way more.
Okay, that's convenient. The shot glasses are so close.
Yeah, and
you didn't even have to get up.
It's right here. Amazing.
What a good setup we have.
I know. Conveniently left a bottle of alcohol.
I left it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the 2 towers.
I even gave you the Lord of the Rings shot glass, which you should feel honored.
The beacons are lit.
Right.
Hey, that's what I said last time.
Yeah.
With the mirrors.
Yeah.
The flashing system of.
Right.
Cheers.
Okay.
And my hurt arm's my left arm.
Right.
So when I take my shot, I just hurt my shoulder.
Because you drink with your left.
Uh-huh.
Because your right hand is holding your other drink.
Yeah.
So
it's normally not, though.
What can
normally,
you do?
I operate the computer with my right hand, and
it's
I hold
a different
my drink
setup.
with my
It's
left
totally,
hand.
yeah.
And so now I can't.
What do you even do?
My shoulder's hurting too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start this book.
Okay.
Right? I know we did the prologue, but it's like chapter 1. It's like we're starting the book.
Chapter 1 is called Apples First, and the chapter symbol is the dragon.
Can I just say one thing?
No.
Because last time you were like, oh, you love the Borderlanders so much because you love
You love the Borderlanders.
I know, but this is...
Have you been thinking about it a lot?
I haven't a lot.
But you like, oh shit.
I love this chapter, and it's not involving Borderlanders.
Oh, sure.
So ha.
You can love lots of other things.
No.
You love the Borderlanders so much. Okay. The chapter symbol's the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into anything, we're going to get our iconic paragraph.
Yes.
However, I'm going to tell you where the wind rose in all of the books as per tradition.
Yes, and I have not tried to memorize
and I only memorized about up to 5.
Okay.
And then the rest are written down.
I feel like when we were book 7 or 8, you knew all of them.
I lost it though. As soon as it started whipping around to different places.
Right, yeah.
Because it used to be real simple.
Mm-hmm. Like from over there to over here. And now
not
it's like,
even that.
This one is crazy. It's going all over the place.
It's actually quite comical. You're going to love when I get to
book yeah, no, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, when I get to book 12, actually. When I went back to our notes from the last book, I was like, oh my gosh, there's not just one place. There's not just 2 places.
Yeah.
The wind goes a lot of places.
All right, let's do this.
It's actually pretty funny. Okay, so in the first book, the wind rises in the Mountains of Mist.
Okay.
Book 2, Mountains of Doom.
Okay.
Book 3, Mountains of Mist again. Book 4, Carlean Grass.
Caroline.
Correct me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Book 5, Braham Wood.
Right.
Book 6, Forest of Kyrian.
Very generic. Okay.
Yeah. And I think it blows somewhere else, but I wasn't really tracking it at that point. So
right.
In book 7, we're back to Braham Wood again.
Okay.
In book 8, the wind rises above the island of Tremalking and then goes over to Ebudar.
Okay, cool.
So that's the first time we're really wind's moving.
Far.
Far.
Yeah.
Okay. Book 9, the wind moves across the Aerith Ocean towards Terabon.
Okay.
Book 10, the wind rises in the Rhiannon Hills.
Yeah, Rhiannon
Rhiannon Hills and moves west into the harbor of Ebudar.
Okay.
Book 11, the wind is high up on Dragon Mount and then rushes down and kills a bunch of people.
Hey, yes.
That's a whole thing.
Hilarious.
Now, book 12, the wind starts by rising around the White Tower, and then we get to hear about the giant garbage piles.
Right,
and
okay.
how terrible Tarvalin is. But then the wind keeps blowing through the city, passes through South Harbor, where workers are still trying to pull apart the giant Gwendiar chain. So we get like whole recap during the wind blowing moment.
It's lovely, yeah.
Yeah. Originally, the White Tower.
It's like very cinematic.
Oh, super cinematic. And then it blows over the Shining Walls. And then we get a recap on the whole situation about the rebel Amerlin being captured and imprisoned in the tower. Then the wind speeds up and passes by Dragon Mount, through the Black Hills, across the Caroline grass, where stuff should be growing, but it isn't. And then it finally moves on towards Eridomen, and it slams into something unseen and unnatural and gets eaten up by an evil wind.
Right. Amazing.
That was book 12.
That was pretty cool.
So I hope you memorized that.
All right. Super easy.
I remember it was sometime in like book 4 or 5, and I was like, how could you not have these memorized? They're so easy.
Okay, like starting positions is one thing, but entire, path of the wind is something completely different here.
Yeah.
All right, so kick us off here. Where are we starting?
Okay, so here, book 13, we're starting way over in Shanshan, but it takes a while for me to recognize that that's where we are.
Sure.
Until they say the words.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't recognize this place. And
yeah. It's like these are all new cities.
Probably doesn't help that I skimmed it. So the wind rises over the misty peaks of Imfaral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's in Shanshan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Don't you know?
It then moves south and then east, passing through the field surrounded by these fortresses.
The Towers of Midnight,
which I'm to understand are the Towers of Midnight.
Yeah, 13 fortresses cut entirely from black marble, and the towers are meant for war, but by tradition they're left unoccupied.
Ooh.
But how long is that going to last?
Oh, because it's going to be wartime?
Right.
Okay.
And it is war. Entirety of Shanshan is like an upheaval right now.
Right. Now the wind keeps moving east past a bunch of burned ships at some docks. Mm-hmm. It keeps going, and it talks a lot about a lot of stuff in Shanshan, and I don't know how much of it you actually want to talk about.
Yeah, no, I mean, the general idea here is that Shanshan, the entire continent is basically at war right now with everybody else. So cities are burning, villages and towns are burning. It's not going very well for Shanshan right now. So I don't know. Maybe we're happy about that. I don't know. Are we happy about that?
Well, I mean, we can thank Semirog if we are happy.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Do we want a unified Shanshan backing the return, or do we want Shanshan to be a little bit on their toes right now for everybody in Ranland to not be totally secure in their position? Right?
I have medium feelings towards that.
Okay.
Yep.
Medium. Super medium.
Yep.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, couple other cool things, because this is all world building for Shanshan. We don't get a lot of Shanshan stuff. So we've got people yelling that it's the end of times. The fields of peace are on fire. Come on, that's the worst. Yeah. Right? When the fields of peace are on fire. Mm-hmm. The Tower of Ravens is broken, like the prophecies said it would be. And a murderer openly rules Shandar.
Oh, no.
That's the capital. Yeah. Okay, so pretty crazy times right now.
Okay, but then the wind is going to leave Shanshan.
Yeah, it doesn't want to stay here.
Nope.
Which is fair.
It blows across the ocean, across the whole continent without mention, and then it reaches Dragon Mount.
Right, exactly. Perfect. We're here.
Here we go.
I like it.
And we're going to start.
It's a fun little callback, too, because you didn't pay attention to the wind very much, but he describes it as it's like the trade winds, right, that go across the ocean.
Okay.
It's just fun that there is some explanation of what's happening with these. Uh-huh. And in the before times, people knew a lot more about it.
Got it.
Now, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah. I don't know anything about the wind.
Yeah. They're like, ocean, never crossed that before. Don't do it. Oh. Right? For the most part, our Randlanders aren't very...
ocean savvy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the sea folk know to stay away from there, so... Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, now we can get to it.
Okay, so we are going to start in Almond Bunt's perspective.
Not Almond.
Almond Bunt.
Almond.
Almond Blunt. Almond?
Almond, yeah.
Almond. That's what I said.
Easy way to remember it?
I said almond.
Easy way to remember it. All men.
Yeah, I said almond.
But that's funny because
But
that's
you
actually...
think I said almond, but I said almond.
You clearly pronounced a D at the end of his first name.
I didn't clearly do anything. Okay, anyway, I was like, hey, I remember this guy. And before we even get mention of it, I knew this was the guy that took them to Camelin.
You knew it.
I remembered it.
Oh.
Only very specifically because...
You were like Almond Blunt.
No, I remember
back
that
then,
guy.
and you're like, oh, that guy, I remember him.
No, I remember because it was a trivia question a really long time ago.
Oh my goodness.
When we were doing only Eye of the World trivia at one point.
Yeah.
With like a group of people, and I had a question about almond bunt, and we talked a lot about it, and I was like, I remember that name.
Good for you.
What a callback.
Okay. His name, yeah.
And then I was like questioning myself. I was like, is that actually who this is? But
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because in Origins, his name is actually based on all men and meaning that.
Why?
I don't know. There's more to it, but
okay.
Yeah, it's not time for that now.
Okay. Well, anyway, this guy.
Yeah.
He is staring at some apple trees. He doesn't know what's going on.
So many apple trees.
So many apple trees. It's a whole orchard.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He knows apple trees. He has a couple.
He knows a couple apple trees.
He doesn't know orchards. Different.
Well, he doesn't know what's going on because everything's stupid because all the apples are...
Well, that's the whole premise of this first chapter. You're spoiling.
That's the whole thing. I don't know how much we need to talk about these apples and these apple trees.
Okay. So we're at a sister's orchard here.
Okay, be quick. Brief? Be brief.
Okay. He has a farm in Andor. That's
brief?
where he's
Do
from.
you know what brief means?
That's like 5 words.
Yeah, but you
he
said
has
it so
a
slow.
farm
You
in
said it so
Andor.
slow.
The magic of editing, I'll speed it up, okay? Okay, he's at his sister's orchard, and he's got a letter from his sons, and he's supposed to go back, but he can't right now because he's got to help out here.
Basically, what we get is a little bit of a backstory as to why he's not still in Andor,
right?
And he's here over by Tarvalon.
Well, he's a good Queensman, see?
Yeah,
exactly. And
he's been
getting in trouble lately. But you know what's kind of funny? Do you remember why Matt and Rand and how they got onto his wagon? Do you remember that whole incident?
Well, weren't they escaping from like the Fade?
They were.
Yeah.
They were. And then Matt and Rand were listening in on conversation Almond was having with the other dude in the town who had been talking to a Fade. And then Almond was like, weird friends you got there, buddy. And then the guy was like, back off, none of your business.
Yep.
We're looking for 2 guys. One's got a heron marked sword.
Ugh.
And then Rand and Matt pop up later and jump on his wagon. And Almond doesn't even mention the fact that he totally knows who these guys are.
Takes him away from here.
Takes him away.
He's a good guy.
It's great. He's a great guy. He's a good guy. He's like, doesn't like those stranger people that this guy's talking to.
Who would like those?
Who deals with fates? Come on. All right.
Okay. Anyway, so he's here helping out.
Yeah. And we've got...
It turns out all of the apples have dropped their tree.
Yeah.
Or no, all of the trees have dropped their apples.
Yeah, the apples
and
be
they're all
dropping the trees.
shriveled up and rotten.
Exactly.
So
it's bad. And like
no
all
food.
of them.
Yeah.
All the apples on all... There's hundreds of trees.
And they were really relying on them because they were like, oh, look, all of these trees have apples. This is going to be so great for us.
Well, yeah, because they're starving.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, though, I do love this chapter because you really get to feel the desperation of Almond. We've got to see starvation from some of our people.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that we know. It's such a good callback to use a character like this from so long ago.
Yep.
And you kind of feel bad because it's like the desperation of starvation. And he goes in a bit of a spiral. He really goes to a bad place.
Well, he doesn't have much to say.
There is nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say about it because we've lost all the food. We didn't have food to begin with, basically. We were already on the brink of starvation. This was going to be the saving grace, and now it's all gone.
Yeah.
And he's got these 2 kids, like the sisters, like sons are here.
Yeah.
And he basically puts them to work.
And he's like, go try to find any of those that aren't
like
too
dig
rotten.
through them.
Yeah.
Because his sons also sent the letter for help because they just got like basically attacked and robbed by mercenaries and all their food got taken and they only are alive because they were digging potatoes out of the ground that are like half grown. So it's not a good situation, and this chapter just paints this great picture of it's not going well.
Things are going terrible, but then
there's hope.
The clouds part.
I love it. The hope.
The sun comes out.
Yes.
Shines on his neck. He feels some warmth. And he's like, what the heck? Sunlight. It's been so long since we've seen sunlight. And then he realizes that he smells apple blossom.
Right.
And he spins around and sees all the apple trees flowering. All of them. Like
what
crazy.
The heck?
So
apple
many.
Trees don't blossom twice in one season. That's
and
not how it works.
In like seconds.
Not in seconds. There's a lot of weird things going on here.
Yeah, it's all crazy.
Yeah. And it's okay. So just to because this does go on for a bit with the almond thing.
Yep.
But again, the reason I said he gets pretty bad mentality-wise, spiraling, he knows what's going to come. These kids don't know what's going to come from the starvation necessarily. They maybe haven't lived through it. He's lived through droughts and insects and, negligence of farms. Like, he's lived through it.
And he's like, this is worse than all of that.
This is worse than all of that. And he thinks, like, maybe it's time to let go.
Yeah.
And basically just die. And it's so sad because, like, this guy's so nice and we love him.
Sure. We love him. Whoa.
We love him.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey.
Well, anyway, he's going to hear footsteps behind him, and so he turns around, and he sees a tall young man coming down from the foothills of Dragon Mount.
Right.
And he has red hair, and he's wearing ragged clothes.
And I bet you had no idea yet who this was. You were like,
clue.
who could this possibly be?
Who could this possibly be? No clue. No clue.
Yeah.
And Alman goes, hey, you, stranger. Did you get lost?
Ho there.
Oh, hey ho.
Ho there.
Hey ho. And then he's like, oh my God, that man doesn't have a hand.
Oh no, his left arm. There's no hand there.
Yeah.
And then you were like, it's Rand. So surprised.
Yeah, I didn't know before.
I love
for
it.
Sure.
And it's funny because he's in the terrible clothes because he was dressed up as a beggar in Shanshan.
So that no
in
one
Abu Dar,
No, not Shanshan.
In Abu Dar, controlled by Shanshan.
Yeah.
He's going to blow up the Shanshan. And then he went to the mountain in his raggedy clothes.
Right.
So funny.
All right. Well, now the stranger's going to say, nope, I'm not lost. Finally, I feel like I understand the path before me. And he's like speaking like a crazy person.
Yeah, that's a weird answer.
And this is pretty confusing because he's like, not lost. That path only leads up the slopes of Dragon Mount. Like,
there's nothing back there, man. Like, where did you come from? How did you get here?
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Where'd you go?
Where did
One-Handed Man Joe
come from? The Dragon Reborn?
Yeah. Okay. That's the one. Anyways, let's get to Rand's second answer. Because he's like, there's nothing back there of use. And then Rand says, I wouldn't say that. There's always things of use if you look closely enough.
Yeah, which is also...
Don't stare at it too long. Something, to learn but not be overwhelmed. That's the balance. And it's like, Alman is smart enough to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
What are you talking about? And like, Rand has just had some like crazy...
Yeah, like the epiphany on the mountaintop.
Well, he's like lucid for a moment.
Yeah.
But now he's almost like in a manic...
Probably.
Yeah, like it's like he's coming up out of a like wild...
He went too far in the other direction.
Angry, depressive episode, and now he's up in a manic episode.
Okay.
That's like probably what this feels like.
Probably. And I like that Alman's like, I think we're having two different conversations here. Like, that was not an appropriate answer to my question.
Weird, bro.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay.
But then, something seems familiar about this young lad.
I love it.
And he goes, do I know you?
I love the answer.
And then Rand just goes, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
No explanation.
You know me.
Okay, and to be fair, who knows if Rand actually remembers this being the cart driver?
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
Yeah, well, it does. Later, it feels like he does.
It does, but I also like
bit.
it. I would like it, too. It would be really funny
He'd
if,
be like, yeah, you know me. I'm the Dragon Reborn. Everybody knows me.
I just wanted to, like, actually remember and offer, like, oh, yeah, you gave me a wagon ride once. Like, no explanation.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, that's the thing. He's the Dragon Reborn. People are talking about me.
That's true. But then Rand is just like, you know what? You're going to need to gather some people to collect the apples because they're going to be needed.
You're going to need them real bad.
You're going to need those.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns around to see that the orchard has now each tree has 100 apples.
More than a tree should hold.
Oh, yeah.
They're full. They're full and they're all
And like 3
beautiful.
seconds ago, there was just flowers. So it's like, that's not
normal. You know what? Maybe Alman just doesn't understand orchards.
Nope.
Maybe he just doesn't understand how they work.
No.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, hundreds of apples.
And then
thousands.
Rand says, my presence will hold him off for a time. So take what you need, and they should be safe from his touch.
I love it.
This is very reminiscent of The Eye of the World.
Okay.
When we had nothing growing, spring wouldn't come.
Yeah.
And then Rand goes and does something very confusing. We're not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But as they're riding out of the blight, all of the flowers are sprouting.
Right. Yeah, he pushed the dark one back a little bit.
A little bit, somehow. And so this is that, I guess?
Well, not necessarily, but here's the thing. So, number one, we have Rand, who is, like, LTT Reborn, and you have to, number one, assume that he should be able to make things grow. Like, weaves are a thing, number one.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, it's actually called back to that same chapter 40 in The Great Hunt, where we got, I think maybe for the first time or one of the first times, we got the line, the dragon is one with the land, and the land is one with the dragon.
Oh.
So there's the whole like metaphor of the dragon is really connected to the world. And we've gotten that in the Eye of the World battle. We got that in the Battle of Falma, where the Heroes of the Horn, how they were doing in battle was connected to how Rand was doing in additional battle. Right? We've had that before. Rand is he is a part of the pattern here. And how Rand is doing has a lot to say about how the world is doing too. So we've got Rand, who is going down a very dark path for a long time.
And the whole world is going super dark and
kind of going to shit. And maybe we're kind of starting to come out
so
of that a
all
little bit.
of this isn't the Dark One's fault. It's Rand's fault?
I mean, I don't want to blame him completely. But
it sounds like you're saying this is all Rand's fault.
If Rand could get his head out of his butt maybe for a couple of minutes here, maybe we'd be doing better.
Well, good thing Tam showed up.
Perfect. Great plan. Thanks, Cadswain.
You know what? Thanks, Cadswain.
You know what? Her plan worked. The plan worked.
I've always not liked her.
Exactly.
At one point, I even liked her. It was, you know what it was? It was the cleansing.
Yeah.
Remember when I was like, how dare you make me like Cadswain?
Right, because she was like, I'll take charge and did a really great job.
And then I was like, oh, actually, I do like Cadswain.
It's like, yeah, we should have defense perimeters and groups to fight and do some little like mini circles, like teams. It's good. Yeah. So anyways, there is a bit of the whole dragon is one with the land is one with the dragon philosophy going on here.
Sure.
Plus it's Taviran.
Oh,
we need
I
apples.
mean, like, whatever. At that point...
Yeah, and I'll offer one more thing. He's helping the little guy. It's about time Rand helps the regular people.
Well, he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't make those apples grow.
You don't think that Rand had any inspiration? The apples weren't inspired by seeing Rand?
No.
You don't think Rand helped this along?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe by accident.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it's time to get some apples, feed the people, get the troops. Let's
Rand
go fight the last battle.
Still going to have trouble getting the power.
Getting the power up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Because that's been bad.
Yeah, he's had some issues. Happens to a lot of people. It's not a problem.
No, it does not. It does not happen to every guy.
It is not normal.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, anyway, Bunt is finally going to realize who this has to be.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I do know you. I remember. I gave you a ride one time.
Right.
A long time ago. And Rand's like, what? Anyway, so he's going to say, Rand, where are you going now? And Rand says, to do something I've been putting off. I doubt she'll be pleased by what I tell her. And then he just walks away. And I was like, ooh, who?
That's what I want to know. That's the question.
I mean, like...
Who is he going to go talk to who's not going to be happy with what he has to say?
Gut feeling?
Every woman? I don't know.
Cadswain.
Okay, I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like he's
just start listing any woman you know the name of. It's like any of them are good options.
Nobody is going to like what Rand has to say literally ever. So probably Cadswain.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good guess.
I mean, it's just the most obvious one.
Right.
Might not be the right one, but
okay.
I could list others, but Cadswain was my gut feeling.
Yeah. And then on the good news...
Oh, lightness instead of darkness.
Well, here's the thing.
Rand.
As he's walking away, Bunt sees the lightness of the air around him, and it seems to like warp and bend. And that's a real positive difference from the darkness.
That's amazing, actually. Yeah. That's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Good news.
That's what happens when you go up on the mountaintop.
This seems good. This seems positive.
Yeah. And then we get the nice little inspirational ending here where Almond goes off and gets the boys and is like, we gotta get all the people. Go get all the people. Tell them we gotta start picking.
Apples.
It's so funny too because the kids are like, we're picking what? And he's like, apples, you idiots. What else grows from apple trees?
But like they thought like, there were no apples. Yeah. They thought there was nothing.
Yeah, that's a regular question.
Yeah.
So then the boys go and look at the orchard first.
And they're like,
they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Make sure Almond's not like crazy.
Yeah, but then Almond can feel something pulling him towards the direction of Rand.
Mm-hmm.
And apples first.
Yeah, and then we'll see.
Then we'll see what's next.
Last battle, baby. Here we go.
Last battle. Okay.
Told you this word like hype train all the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the first chapter.
Love it.
It's a good one. It's a good first chapter.
It is good. It's a good start.
I appreciate that we get some sort of little mini wrap up.
Sure.
To what happened with Rand at the end of the last book.
Yeah, Rand coming down the mountain.
We're not left on a cliffhanger about what the hell's going on, right? And in the next chapter, we're going to sort of get a rewind.
Right.
And so it's nice that we got this little bit
Yeah.
of like, here's something that's going on. And
So
like
we're not
that's,
in suspense of
Yeah.
like what, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
tell me what happened here.
Exactly. And so that's nice. I like that.
Okay.
Now let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so we're back and we're going to jump into chapter 2.
Yeah, but before we do that, I did look something up.
Oh, you did?
The almond bunt situation.
That's what you were doing. I was wondering
Yes.
what you were reading over there.
Okay, I'm not going to read the entire description here, but he's the old farmer caught up in the events of the Wheel of Time, and his name represents all men, a figure like the eponymous protagonist of the famous 15th century play Everyman.
Of course.
So I looked up Everyman because I don't know what that is.
Yep.
There's a play called The Summoning of Everyman, usually referred to as Everyman. It's a late 15th century morality play, and it's a plot about how the good and evil deeds of one's life will be tallied by God after death, as in a ledger book.
Oh,
and
like
it's
the
a
Good
whole
Place.
thing. Yeah, kind of, yes.
Huh.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what his name represents.
Neat.
Okay.
Thanks.
Jeremy Bearme. There we go.
It is Jeremy Berry. Okay. All right. So chapter 2 is called Questions of Leadership. And the chapter symbol is a wolf because we're going to start off in Perrin's perspective.
Yeah.
But then, good news, the whole chapter isn't Perrin.
It isn't, because honestly,
which is good because
this isn't the strongest Perrin we've seen.
it's really not.
It's a lot of recap.
Yeah, it is, which is okay.
Yeah, it's
We're
a lot
gonna
of.
forgive recap. I forgive recap in the first
Well, you have to.
6 chapters.
I was gonna say in like the first 75% of the book,
No,
you have to
6 chapters.
you have to forgive the
After
recap.
6 chapters, I don't need recap.
Okay.
And in book 13, sorry.
So Perrin's the guy with the wolves, right? Like
yeah,
that's the thing.
He's a blacksmith. I don't know
Right.
if you know this about him, and he hates leadership, and he just can't stand this anymore.
Also, the stuff with his wife is weird.
No,
Anyways.
I liked it actually.
Okay. Well, he feels weird about the stuff with his
Oh,
wife.
he feels weird. I like it.
Yes.
I like Fael a lot, and
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that in my whole life.
Okay, let's get into this then.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. So Perrin and his crew have almost reached the Johanna Road. And side note,
For you do know where the Johanna Road is.
I mean, like I've heard of it before.
Right.
You want me to show you on a map? I couldn't. I could not do that. But also, Perrin couldn't show you on a map either. He has no idea where he is.
Yeah, does it help that the Johanna is on the map too?
Nope, it doesn't.
Okay.
So what I wanted to point out, my side note is, just like in the prologue, I was like, when are we gonna get to the fireworks factory?
Yeah.
Where are the White Cloaks?
Oh yeah.
When are we meeting up with them?
What's happening?
going on? And I was like, okay, so I missed it then. Maybe now's the time.
So close, maybe.
I'm like, maybe.
Right. Right.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
So
Okay.
okay. So originally Perrin had planned to cross into Andor, but there's been a lot going on. It's taken them a long time to get from where they are to where they want it to be.
Basically, it's the snakes. That's the problem. There was like that bubbly evil. The snakes popped up, bit everybody, and
terrible. I hate when that happens.
Right? It's just terrible. And it's just like they have not gone very far. It's been a month.
You know what? That
since
actually
Malden.
sounds really interesting. It sounds terrible.
Like the snakes thing?
Yeah.
The bubble evil.
Why did that have to happen off screen?
Bubble evil. We see it all the time.
I know, but that could have happened. And then we're like starting out interesting instead of starting out in Perrin's head recapping how he feels about the past situation.
Right, but then we wouldn't get this perspective where he's
and that would be just a tragedy.
Right.
We could have gotten both, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, I'm not an author. Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm literally nobody, except for somebody who likes to read really exciting things.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
When they were leaving Malden, it's been over a month. Perrin sent Master Gill and a bunch of the people ahead. That he was like, hey, you start going, we'll catch up. And so far, we haven't been able to locate them. The Ashaman nearly died with the whole snake bite thing.
Which is bad. And so it was
they didn't
Ashaman
die.
and one...
Yeah. So they just got...
Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Besides the point. They got really sick.
Is Missouri on the Black Aja list? Should I check
I
my
don't
Black
believe
Aja
so.
list? I'm going to check it. Hold on.
Okay. I don't think she's on your list.
Okay. She's not on my list. And when I say my list, it's Varen's list, actually.
Right. Yeah, naturally.
And I have Mayasi.
Okay, that's a different person.
And Melvara.
Also a different person.
But yeah, no. Because I was like, ooh, what if...
Ooh, bubble evils don't affect...
attacking...
Yeah. I like that.
What if it's only meant to attack some dark friends who...
You know...
have been...
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's how bubble evils work?
No.
I'm just wondering because
I'm just trying to figure it. I'm just trying to figure anything out.
We got to play the hypothetical now. Like Bubble Evil pops up. Can Dark Friends and Black Oddjob people be injured by Bubble's evil?
Yeah.
I have to assume yes.
Oh yes, I would say
Dark
yes.
one doesn't care.
Well, it's just sounds so chaotic.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I thought maybe this Bubble of Evil actually wasn't as chaotic as... I was like, oh, maybe.
Okay.
Actually, this is just a...
Yeah.
Attack.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Anyways, we're in the middle of something else with Perrin right now because he's thinking all these things.
Right. Are we worried about that we don't know where Master Gil is?
I mean, yes, that's part of the thing that's in his brain while he's dealing with this other situation. We don't know where Master Gil and all the people he sent forward are. The scouts can't find them. The Ashaman can make like teeny gateways for a couple people to, jump ahead, but we don't know where they are right now. But what's happening in the background, or like the foreground, I guess, there's mercenary. He's basically interviewing like a mercenary group right now and barely paying attention to the guy.
Oh, because he's going to let them come in.
Exactly. Yeah. They're here to sign on to Perrin's army because things are so desperate now that they're willing to work for only food.
Yeah.
Not
no
even
money.
He's like, don't worry about money. Like, you don't have to pay us. Do you have food? And it's so funny because Perrin's kind of a dick. Because the guy's like, is it true that, like, your food doesn't go bad immediately?
And Perrin's like, no, of course it doesn't.
Of course it doesn't.
We keep it properly.
Yeah. It's like, hey, buttface.
Yeah.
Like, that's Taviran, probably.
If you're talking about this whole Rand's doing bad, so the world's doing bad, what about Perrin? Is Perrin doing bad also affecting the world doing bad?
Not as much, but, like, around him probably at least a little bit.
because he's also doing bad.
Yeah, but at least he's not, like, sleeping under a carton all stinky and unwashed right now, so...
No, that's true.
He is doing better.
That was like one time, Brett.
Yeah.
Drop it already.
But also, Rand's the dragon. It's separate. It's a separate thing. Okay. Anyways. But Perrin's a buttface, and he's like, no, our food is fine, thanks very much. And anyways, he's the guy's excited about this.
Sure.
Like, yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
So he has to go see Tam now to go get some instructions.
Training.
Yeah, training instructions, like whatever.
Yeah, sounds like Tam's the
Cool.
guy.
Tam's the guy. Okay.
And then I was like, oh, either Tam's back,
Right.
or
Yep.
we're back in time.
Time frame.
And this is well before.
Well, we don't even have like the Perrin Galad meeting. Like, we don't know
right
that.
now that the sky's black. But I don't know if where they are, they're going to see any sunlight. If it's only Dragonmount.
Yeah.
Right? So we've yet to see.
It's not totally clear.
We've yet to see what's going to happen with that.
Okay.
So now Perrin heads off through the camp. And he has new Two Rivers bodyguards now that Aram is dead, and
so
he
he
hates
needs new
that.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, he hates that very much.
Not that Aram is dead. He hates that there's still bodyguards.
Well, he also hates that Aram is dead.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
I bet I feel like
he hates it more because he feels guilty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for the fact that like.
No, he feels bad about the
Yeah.
situation.
Maybe you weren't best friends, Perrin.
Well, he never thought they were best friends.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we get a description of the camp.
Muddy.
Lots of mud, but like so much mud.
And that's why I was like, are we in the swamp where the White Cloaks are?
No.
Are there bite me's?
It doesn't seem that way. No. Okay.
Okay. So Arganda.
Remember him?
Nope. No, wait. General guy?
Yeah.
Alejandro's
guy.
General guy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Perrin.
Well, I mean, things have been very stressful for him lately and always.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So Arganda's like, is that another batch of mercenaries that you're just letting in here?
Right.
And Perrin's like, yes. And then Arganda's like, those guys are for sure deserters.
Yeah.
Alejandro wouldn't like this at all.
Yeah, we're in Gilda now. Like, this is his territory, baby. Like,
and
you
then
should
Perrin's
send
like,
them.
this is technically my territory.
Yeah, your queen works for me.
Yeah, I'm the king here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Arganda's like, we're gonna string him up, and he's like, no, you're not.
I'm not stringing anybody anywhere.
Like, and you don't even know these guys. You don't know if they're actually deserters. Like, you know nothing, Arganda. Cool your jets.
Right.
Cool it.
Cool it. So then a lot of things happen.
Well, you say a lot of things.
Well,
but
a lot of words happen on the page.
A lot of words happen.
That's what I meant, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words. A lot of things are going on.
He does let Arganda go talk to the mercenaries, but he's only allowed to talk to them to, like, I don't know.
Ask them questions about, like, who they used to serve
Hey,
or
who are
something.
you? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're riding for a while, and then Perrin finally notices that Gull is coming up with one of the people that he'd sent ahead with Basil Gill.
Yes, one of the guys.
Right.
Which is a little worrying because, like, why is there nobody else here?
Where are they?
Right.
What's going on? We expected them back. Perrin's worried about them.
His name is Fennel.
Fennel.
Yeah. That's like an herb or something, right?
Okay, so
Not gonna talk.
It's
a thing. It's a plant.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Root vegetable.
Okay.
That's what I would. That's how I would classify that.
All right.
It kind of tastes licorice.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So he has news. The reason we can't find them is because they didn't go the way.
They went the wrong way.
No, not the wrong. A different way.
They went a different way. Well, they went the wrong way from
what
the way
parents
they were
said.
supposed to go.
Parents said go that way, but then they
And
saw
then
some
they
travelers,
didn't.
and they were like, the road is basically a mud pile, and you'll never get through with
And
your
I was
wagons.
like, who are the travelers? White cloaks?
Oh no!
I have like a one-track mind. I
It's
can't
like-
even get off
like
it.
no it.
No,
Is it
not
a
at
white
all.
cloak in disguise, and he took off all of his white armor and his cloak,
Nope, not
so that
even
he
a
just
little
looks like a regular guy, but it's
Nope.
actually a white cloak in
Nope,
disguise?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Nope. 'Kay.
How beautiful was he? How beautiful were
Was he
that?
the most
was he the
beautiful
most
man you ever
beautiful?
Shoot.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. Not that.
No.
So, anyways, Master Gil made an executive decision.
They're going towards Lugard, and then they're going to go up to
go
Caitlin.
go around the mud pile.
Yeah.
So
All right.
this dude has been here waiting for Perrin for 5 days.
Yeah.
So that just
And
means
they were like really worried. They're
Yeah.
like, I thought you guys weren't even going to show up here.
yeah, well, and like
Yeah.
maybe you're all dead. I don't know, because all of his scouts are going off in the wrong direction looking for them. So there's like no signs
and
of them
the
either.
last thing they heard was there was about
Oh,
to be
man.
a battle,
Yeah,
and then they don't even know how the battle went.
yeah, yes, they did. So this guy's like, how'd it go?
Yes. Turns
went
out,
well.
good.
Okay, yes, and as a side note, there's like some other things happening in all the words that are said. So there are still most of the Shido are heading east to go
Okay.
back to the waste. We
Yes.
know that.
Mhm.
There are still some scouts that are watching Perrin's army, but probably just to make sure that Perrin's army isn't trying to do something.
Yeah.
Like it's smart to have smart to
Yeah.
have scouts out.
Yep.
So okay.
Okay, but then Gull, very politically,
Mm-hmm.
says to Perrin that he scouted a good spot up ahead. You know, someone might like to camp there.
Right.
Just looks good for someone who might want to camp. I don't know. Do you want to camp? Or...
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's safe. And
It's safe because there's totally a bunch of white cloaks around there too, keeping it safe. And it's oh, we're all together now.
No.
Boom. That's
There's
how
no white cloaks yet.
Oh, okay.
There's none.
Okay.
Don't even trick me because I miss a lot of things when I read. And so if you say that, I'm like, really? That's too
And
tricky.
all the white cloaks were naked from the top up.
That's tricky. That's too
Top
tricky.
up, bottom down. I don't know. It's crazy camp.
They're just naked. Okay. Now, yes, we are going to camp here at least for the day
Right.
to
okay.
regroup.
Yeah.
And then we get a recap on what the plan is.
What Perrin's plan
Perrin's...
is. What Perrin thinks the plan is for him and what it should.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna send everybody back home.
I can't wait. I can't wait to send everybody back to their homes.
Yeah.
That's what they want, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna disband this
get
group.
them all home.
Right. And
We're
also
gonna forget all this weirdness between me and Fael. It's all gonna go back to normal, and Barrelane's gonna get the F out of here.
right in her low cut dresses. Get out of here,
Get out of
Barrelane.
here, booby.
Yeah.
Booby McGee.
Okay.
out.
Before we get to the interesting part of this section, I have a
Perrin's
conspiracy.
boobs aren't interesting enough for you?
Perrin's boobs?
No, Barrelane's. Did
Those
I say
are-
Perrin?
You did. I think you did. That's what I heard. I don't know if. Okay.
You know what?
You
Maybe.
want a conspiracy theory?
Oh, obviously.
Okay. So here's the thing. Remember how Varen got stuck in that village because the Padawan was like, "Nope, you got to meet up with
Yeah.
Matt." And then everything she tried to do to leave,
She couldn't
do it.
Yeah.
Perrin has been waiting for the Ashaman to be strong enough to make gateways for now over a month.
Yes.
And every time that maybe they're going to get healthy, boom, snakes.
Yeah, can't
boom,
get healthy.
Boom, I channel too much. Now I
Yeah.
can't do it. It's like, boom. No.
No.
Maybe, Perrin,
That's
your
not-
idea is terrible.
That's not conspiracy. That's just logic.
Like, maybe.
That's just fine.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
No, I'm
just
fine
saying.
with that.
Okay.
I actually like that very much.
Because File kind of goes in a rant in a little bit. He's like, hey.
No, File's not here yet.
Okay, we're not there yet.
Ugh.
Okay, let's get to the cool
First,
part.
we have to get to the part where Perrin is like, "Oh shoot, that Massima sure did get killed by bandits."
It's so good. Okay, so scouts, a day after, I think, Malden,
Yeah.
they came across the body of Massima and all the
his
people.
But
But all the shoes and belts and boots and all the valuables were taken.
yeah.
So it looks like banditry.
Oh, bandits.
Was this Fail?
Yeah, 1000%.
I just want to make sure.
Of course it was.
It could have been like bandits after the fact, just happened by.
No.
Okay.
No, because this was with Fael's group of Chafael, right?
Yeah.
And they
I can't remember. Maybe she was like, God, take the boots.
No. She was with Chafael. So they're going to live by sort of Aiel rules,
Right.
Right. And so they probably sort of were like, we can take a fifth of what they have, right? And you know, like it was probably some sort of weird, like we can take some
also,
of their
it's good
stuff.
to make it look like it was
also,
bandits.
Okay, so
that's smart.
There's two sides.
I
to
like
this.
I like yours better.
Because they were like, we can take some of their stuff.
Okay, so you got shoes, pants, shirt, hat.
We can only take.
You should take one of those things.
We can take either shoes, belts, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And
great.
then she was like, "Sure."
It's like definitely not that, but it's like
I kind of think that's funny because they have like they don't really get it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do it anyway.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah, no, probably what's more likely is they set it up to look like it was bandits.
And
because Aiel doesn't want to get caught.
Perrin bid on it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
He's like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I failed my mission, so I was supposed to bring him back to Rand.
It's like, hey man, you know who doesn't care about Missima?
That wasn't even the mission, really. It was like, deal with Missima.
Rand doesn't give an F about Missima.
Wasn't the mission deal with him and the Dragonsworn?
Well,
really?
It was like a loose, like, yeah, deal with him, bring him back to me, and whatever.
We'll see, whatever.
Here's a fake fight, and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, Missima's dead, and Fael fooled Perrin, so we're all happy about that. Okay. Now can Fael come here?
Yes. Now that's good because that makes this better. It's the part I actually liked about, about this perspective. So Fael's going to come up and she's going to be like, hey, listen, bud, I can tell something's bothering you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your parent, go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've gathered too many people here, and I think we should start turning them away.
Yeah, that probably won't work, you dummy.
Yeah. Why do you think that? It's like, hey, idiot.
Because you're Tavir, an idiot.
It's like, duh.
Yeah.
Okay. But then Perrin's like, oh, no, it's going to end in a few days. And then once I have enough gateways, I'm going to send everybody away, just like the original plan was, to the proper places.
Yeah, I'm not gathering an army.
Yeah, and
it's
then we
like,
could be done.
Hello, Perrin. You're supposed to be gathering an army to bring to Rand because it's the last freaking battle.
It's literally the thing.
It's literally the end of days. It's the end of everything, and we need a gigantic army.
He's gathering all the weird misfits. Like, he gathered 5,000 people in the middle of freaking nowhere.
And Fael's like, it's because you're Taviran. You're drawing these people to you.
And he's like, you think? That's weird. It's like, Perrin.
I'm not cut out for leadership, okay?
Can't be a leader. I did a bad job. I did such a bad job. There's so much. Everyone's saying I'm doing a bad job. Yeah. It's like, no. Nope. Not that either.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, Fael's like, I've heard the exact opposite. I've heard of everybody saying how good of a job you're doing and how much they like you.
You kept Arganda in line. You built an alliance with the Shanshan. You defeated the Shido when they had like 400 channelers.
You're actually pretty competent.
Did a good job.
Being such a whiny butthole.
Huge
whiny butthole.
And also, like, Perrin, you can be big picture guy, and you can get someone like Fael to run day to day. Yep. Easy peasy. Easy. You don't need to run all the stuff of the like nobody does that.
You're not even really doing that you're not even doing it.
Not even
you don't even have you're not. You think you should be doing it, and then you're not doing it, and then you're upset that you're not doing it, but somebody else is.
It's like, man, be the warlord, wolf king leader.
He doesn't want that.
And just like,
you know what, we've had this conversation before.
I feel like we have.
Especially with the men who are like, oh no, I'm not a lord. I don't want any leadership. Get away from me.
Except for Rand. He's like, fucking listen to me.
Except
listen to everything that I do.
Not at the beginning, though. Not at the beginning. He had to really, really, really grow
into this. Rand was there by like book 2.5.
No, it wasn't until after book 3 that he was like, fine.
Book 1. Relieving the farm, Rand was like, I'm the guy.
No, never.
I'm the shit.
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
So, but then we have our women who are literally clawing and scraping their way to any power.
Well,
and they like want it so bad.
Egwene went way too far in the other direction where she's like, fuck yeah.
No, I love it. What do you mean?
I deserve this.
She certainly does deserve it. She's the daughter heir.
Yeah. I don't know.
Same with Egwene.
Yeah.
She's like, you're going to give me power? Excellent. I love that. I'm going to be the best fucking Amyrlin you've ever seen in my whole life. In anyone's whole life. Know. So.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but the fact that Perrin is still on this, ugh.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, the way I kind of see it is like we're feeling out our characters again. Like we gotta get there,
Sure.
you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's still the weirdness. He feels. Do you think Fael feels with the weirdness?
Yes.
Is it because Perrin's being weird?
I bet they're just not doing it enough.
Maybe, because she does say, like, it was good that we were apart for a while.
Yeah.
Like, that was good for us.
Well, it was good for people in general.
Sure.
Because Fael got to, like, learn all this stuff, and Perrin got to make all these alliances and do lots of things, and in the end, things worked out for them.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's
I
implying.
just feel like the weirdness is because
she's
Perrin's
so
being
level-headed.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Perrin would just stop being weird about it.
And then he even thinks at one point, ugh, she's probably mad that I didn't yell at her.
Yeah.
Well, you're not
like,
fighting. Like, no.
Yes and no, but like maybe, and that's not completely it. Yeah. Like, Saldeans aren't only about yelling. That's not the only thing that they do.
Yeah.
But, okay. All right, so now the cliffhanger for the end of this perspective. The maidens, the scouts who were scouting, as maidens do, they come back and they're like, hey, there's something beside the road, and the maiden even smells concerned.
Oh, no.
And it's something that Perrin's going to want to see.
Is it White Cloak Camp?
Like, beside the road?
I don't even know. I don't know where anyone is.
I mean, yep, you got it.
One track mind. Because guess what? Perspective.
Boom.
To who?
Galad.
That's right.
The most beautiful naked man in the world.
Oh, he's so cool.
We get confirmation here. He totally is naked too.
Oh, complete. What do you mean confirmation? What do you mean?
So here's the thing.
He's naked.
At the prologue, we're like, oh,
they stripped his clothes off.
They cut his armor and his cloak off, and it's like, oh, but is he naked, or does he have like his small clothes on?
Oh.
And you're like, no, naked for sure.
For sure. Naked.
And I was like, maybe undies
no,
even, and
naked.
you're like, no, naked.
Even at one point, he stands up. And this is like later.
Which is even funnier.
He stands up, but specifically, he crosses his hands in front of himself.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what it says. So, like, over his junk.
I thought he was freewheeling. I thought it was just like,
helicoptering in front of...
It's a power move. You gonna torture me? You're gonna have to look at me helicoptering. Before that happens, you're gonna see me.
Oh my gosh. No, but it does say that he stands up and like puts his hat, like he crosses his wrists in front of
That's really funny.
Or something.
That's good.
So like he stands there tall and covers his junk a little, I think.
Okay.
So here we are.
This podcast is rated.
It's always been very explicit.
Come on.
It has always had an E.
Okay.
From the first
E for everybody? What?
No, E for explicit.
Oh,
That's what podcast
gotta get these
ratings. You don't even know what the podcast ratings are?
I just clicked the button. I don't look at it.
It's explicit.
Okay.
We've always had that.
I've been labeling them
We
wrong.
actually really stopped swearing as much as we're.
Did we?
Yeah. If you listen to some of our earlier episodes, there is so much swearing.
Okay.
It is wild how much we used to swear, actually.
All right, but we got to get back to the point here.
That's
because
true. Okay.
Galad, he's naked, but
Okay.
he wakes up, he's in a tent. He's chained in a tent.
Which I'm glad we're going to get a follow-up here.
Okay, yeah.
However, for me, this negates the prologue aspect of the prologue.
What does that mean?
This just feels like a continuation.
Would you prefer it if I just like scribble out the chapters?
Yes.
And then just like it's like one big long book.
Don't call it a prologue.
Just one big long book.
Don't call it a prologue if it's just chapter 1.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't call it a prologue. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, it's good. Don't call it a comeback. It's fine. Okay, no,
Okay.
it's fine. Okay. We're really off track.
Anyway, okay, that's just my feelings on this because right away into the book.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So Galad wakes up, chained up inside a tent that's all dark, and he is feeling super sharp pains where he was kicked and his head's pounding.
Yeah, they beat him unconscious.
Yeah.
So it's going badly.
Okay.
In that regard.
So he's naked, all banged up, his face is covered in dried blood, and this whole thing.
But here's the thing. Galad is super cool. He's a
cool.
badass.
He's a badass.
He doesn't fear death or pain because he knows he made the right choice.
And I agree.
And he doesn't even feel angry at the scouts who betrayed him because it's like, yeah, the questioners are a legitimate source of authority for the Children of the Light, and the only one he can really be mad at is Asunawa.
And that's who I'm mad at too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the funny thing too, because Galad has this entire mindset, and he thinks, I've actually won this situation because I manipulated the situation better than like Asunawa did.
And he stopped children from killing children.
Exactly.
He stopped the death of probably hundreds or thousands of people.
Yeah, like in a sense, he's reunited the White Cloaks with only him being the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's
I
gonna
agree.
it's gonna be a better victory when he can hold out through torture and not say he's a dark friend.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely gonna torture him to death.
Yeah.
But he's like, nope, I won't do it.
It's the same feelings I get Egwene
Sure.
when she was being beaten mercilessly.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, this is going to be a victory.
Right.
Because I'm going to consistently say I'm the Amaryllis. Right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Same vibes.
We're not gonna give in just because you're trying to hurt it. You're trying to beat it into us.
Yeah.
I get it. It's cool. If only they ended up together.
Who?
Egwene and Galad.
You know what? I would like that better.
The Amaryllis seat and the Lord Captain Commander of the White Cloaks.
What a scandal. I would actually like that better. I think that but they're too much the same, you know.
Are they though?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're too strong-willed.
It's like when Barrelane saw Matt, she's like,
never mind. No.
Yeah,
exactly.
no.
Exactly.
Not gonna
That's
happen.
Right. No.
Okay.
They are similar, but they can't be together.
Okay.
That's why.
She's got to be with this dumb brother.
You know what? She does have to because she does.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she doesn't have to be. She actually doesn't have to be with anybody, turns out.
And if it's Egwene, if we're being honest here, that'd probably be better for Egwene also.
To just not be with Galad?
To be with anybody.
Gawain, I mean?
Yeah. I don't think she needs to be with anybody.
I don't think she needs to be with anyone.
She's barely with Gawain. Stop making me say Galad.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, let's get back to Galad.
Right, okay.
So he can hear shouts from outside, and it sounds like they're breaking down the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, okay, well, they're going to be coming for me now.
So he starts cleaning himself up because he's going to face these questioners with a clean face.
In a very meticulous way, and we get to hear all about it.
Yeah, if you can't make saliva, you bite your tongue, and then it'll start making saliva, I
Okay,
guess.
sure. So eventually he's going to hear voices outside the tent. And even though he's like super hurting, he heaves himself up onto his feet and he recites some like scripture stuff
and
for
covers
himself.
his
Give me the
bits.
book. I'll tell you
Covers
what he
his
says.
bits and pieces.
Yeah, he does, I think.
Now you're not sure.
Well, I want to know your take on it. Okay, you found it?
Yeah, okay. So he wobbled, then steadied himself, standing up all the way. His pains were nothing now, etc., etc. He put his feet wide in a warrior's stance, his hands held before himself with his wrists crossed.
Like that, I feel like...
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, like he's sounding like...
It's the wide stance, but then the wrists in front crossed. That makes sense.
Yeah, of himself.
Of himself.
Yeah.
You're covering yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just out of like dignity, maybe?
I guess so.
Just like kind of standing there. Like you're like casually standing there super strong.
Mm-hmm.
And also you're not letting your junk just like fly free.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you're not holding it or anything.
Yeah, sure.
Like, somebody who lost their shorts at the beach.
You're like, yeah. You're just covering. You're just like
just standing there.
Tasteful nudity.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for here.
like you took a dive off the diving board.
Sure.
You lost your trunks and you're like, Like I can imagine that's embarrassing. But
I assume
Galad
so.
would never be embarrassed. Okay.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the right thing to do.
That's all that matters.
He's also like in peak physical condition here. Let's be real. It's probably, okay.
Of course he is.
All right.
So the tent flaps open and people come into the room. And then one guy says, Damodred, how are you awake? And Galad recognizes it as Tron.
Yeah. Trom, one of his guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Bornhald and Byre spill in.
Of course they are. Because, can we even have a White Cloak scene without them?
Of course. And then Galad's like, hey, guys, what are you doing? I said no.
At this point, I don't even think we could have a White Cloak scene if Bornhald and Byre aren't here.
We're the best friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they're not the best friends, but they're just like your classic White Cloaks characters.
Well, at this point,
like we can't even have White Cloak scenes without them just being around.
Okay, here's the thing. At this point, we've lost most of the other White Cloaks that we did
Honestly,
know.
good.
Yeah, they're few in number.
Good.
Okay,
anyway,
so back
it
to
turns out Galad is super pissed off.
He's not happy.
Much like Egwene.
Well, the whole thing is...
stop. I gave you orders not to free me. Where have we heard that before? It was Egwene.
We did hear that.
Egwene said that. Exactly.
I'm going to agree with you. So Galad also previously was thinking while he was wiping blood off his face, he was thinking, if I get free, even if I could get free on myself,
I'm not going to escape.
Because it would invalidate the deal I made.
Yes,
so
and
I have
would
to take
never,
my lumps.
Because that would be wrong, and I only do what's right.
That was the point of the entire agreement.
That's the point.
So that's also why he's upset right here.
Yeah.
But don't worry. We've got the new voices that he recognizes. Gulliver, Harnish, Vordarian,
Now, were these the guys who he...
Two of them were, yeah.
Who he was like, hey, you, do White Cloaks surrender?
Yes.
Hey, you, what happens here?
Yeah.
Okay.
The two of the guys were. I don't think we had Vordarian as one of them.
Okay.
But we definitely had Gulliver and Harnesh.
Okay. But
they're Asinawa's guys, and they're like, yeah, no, your guys obeyed the orders.
Yeah.
But I got a surprise for you.
Here's Asunawa's head.
Yeah.
Off-screen death.
Love it. Dump it out of the bag on the ground.
Off-page death for Asunawa.
Perfect.
Not even worth the fight.
How do you feel about that?
Fine.
You good with it?
I'm so good.
You didn't need to see Asunawa killed?
Good.
Okay.
No.
I appreciate it.
I would like to, sure. Out of all the things, like, you want to give me a scene where there's a big battle and Asunawa dies? I'd like to see it. Sure.
Here's the thing. Here's the difference.
Except as long as the battle isn't too long and boring.
Okay,
you know?
you gotta listen.
I'm listening.
This is the difference between Galad and Egwene. None of the sisters from the White Tower brought Egwene Elida's head in a bag.
And they should have.
They should have. Legitimately, maybe they should have.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like I could make the argument that they should have. Anyways.
I had to think about that for a sec.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not the Aes Sedai way.
Isn't it, though?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Can't hurt people.
Well, that's not
You
necessarily
can't just, like,
true.
battle and shit.
That's not completely true.
Well, that's not the way they do things,
That's like
okay?
medium not true.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that.
Don't be a Chunla. We'll just smother you in your sleeve.
Yes, now you get it. Finally. Gosh,
Okay.
how long did it take you to finally understand that?
That's what we have orders for.
I know it. Don't
Okay.
you know it?
All right.
Okay, anyway, so Asunawa's head's on the ground, and the three of Asunawa's guys,
Yeah, Lord's Captain.
sure, draw their swords and kneel.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you're ours.
You're the
now.
guy.
You're
And
the
Glad's-
guy.
Well, Glad asks, like, why? What made you change your mind? Because up until now,
You were following him.
yeah. And basically, they're like, yeah, Asuna was the worst. And
Yeah,
then
he's terrible.
we saw him do all these terrible things, like lead us.
He literally led us
Yeah.
away from where we were supposed to be
Yeah.
to come and fight you and kill a bunch of
And like
other
making
White Cloaks.
and we're like sided with the Shanshin, and the Fortress of the Light is like taken over by the Shanshin. It's all
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And they've lost Niall and then Valda in the last, 6 months or something?
Yep.
Like so fat. We've lost two
Yep.
Lord Captain Commanders, and this would be a
and
third.
we just watched you
Yeah.
sacrifice yourself so that
Yeah.
there wouldn't be a fight.
Plus, like all of your actions always, you're the most honorable dude ever.
So
like
noble.
him, Asuna
So
was saying you're
noble
a
it
dark
makes
friend.
me
No
wanna-
way. No way.
So noble it makes me want to throw up.
Yeah,
So
it's great.
How about that? And also, you are nice.
It helps.
That's what they said in here.
It helps.
Can you believe it?
They're like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at that
Oh
butt.
Oh my god. Gulliver, look at that butt.
Right? Okay.
Okay.
Now, Glad's like, all right, cool.
I accept.
I accept. There's nothing else for it at this point.
It's the right thing to do.
And he's like, anyone who wants to leave and not follow, I guess, can leave.
Okay, so here's the
Because
thing.
we're going to Andor.
They didn't just kill Asunawa, they killed a third of the questioner. Yeah. So a third of the questioners got killed, and then a bunch of others tried to escape and like leave, but they captured them and they're holding them. So Galad's saying anyone who wants to go, let them go, because by the time they get back to where they're going, like we're gonna be gone.
Okay.
So it's fine.
All right. Well, we're heading to Andor.
Here we go.
Everybody's heading to Andor.
You know who's gonna be so excited to see Galad right now as the head, Lord Captain Commander of the Children of Light? Who's going to be the most excited to see it?
Is it Elaine?
It's definitely Elaine.
I was going to say Morgaze.
She's not there, man.
No, we're going to sketch her first, though, for sure. We're all headed the same direction.
Okay, what? Morgaze is going to be in Andor?
No,
What?
wherever they are.
Sure.
Probably where Perrin is, sort of.
That's still... Okay, that's still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it is. We saw it in a weird vision.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And at some point, there was a definite call to where we were in the series. Because we didn't really talk about it, but Perrin thinks about Rand several times in his perspective.
Yeah.
And shakes it away. And he doesn't really want to see what Rand's doing, or he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But we get this point in time, like a pinpoint. And I just looked it up again because I really wanted to make sure I knew what was, like, that I didn't just imagine that this happened.
Yeah.
So Perrin thinks either way, it was time for Perrin to return to Rand. The color swirled, showing Rand standing in front of a building with a burned front, staring west when Perrin vanished.
Okay.
And so that is really showing us how far we're rewinding, like back to almost the beginning of where Rand's timeline is, where he's at Lava Man Manor.
So that's what you think it is. That's what I was going to ask.
Well, what other building has
Is he shaking his one fist at the sky dramatically while the other is down by his side?
Because it's
wrapped
the front
in
of the Gathering Storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Lava Man Manor happened early on. It's the death of somebody, right?
Yeah.
The death of somebody important.
It's a dude.
But that's what the chapter's called. And so that's where we are.
Right.
So we got a long way to go. And I'm hoping we're going to really circle back. We're catching up with what's going on with Perrin. I'm hoping to hear from Matt soon. I'm hoping that we get these, like, what's been going on in, like, a rewind situation for this book. That's
all
what this feels like.
Yeah.
With that information, it feels like we're being set up.
Yeah.
To hear what's been going on in the rest of the world.
Well, considering the Gathering Storm was very limited perspectives of the people.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out because I forgot to say that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so next episode, I get 2 chapters, you said?
2 chapters again, 3 and 4.
Okay, cool. Great. And this episode comes out tomorrow on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, July 31st, we're going to be on the Dusty Wheel.
Yeah, 2024.
2024.
Yeah, you gotta say the year.
I know. Okay. You can go back and watch it.
That's true.
It'll be there. It'll be there in a playlist somewhere.
Yeah,
but to watch it live is happening.
The Gathering Storm recap.
Yes, I'm excited for that one.
Gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so before you go ahead and accept all of your leadership responsibilities, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, Gabby Young, Rycat, Zane Sayaka, Matrix, and Matt Truss. With music by Audionautic. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.